not help, because you end up with passages which are deemed authentic by Muslim scholars, by hadith scholars, and you end up with passages like Muhammad saying in Sahih al-Bukhari 69:24, I've been commanded to fight people until they say La ilaha illallah. I've been commanded to fight people until they become Muslims. Now, here again, if you want to interpret that in some other way, which by the way lines up perfectly with what the Quran says, fight those who do not believe in Allah, what are you going to do? How do you reinterpret that? Let me put
authentic hadith. The Prophet indeed, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, indeed did say this hadith. He did say that he was commanded. And when we say he was commanded, of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to fight the people. Most of the translation around, they say to fight people. And that changed completely the meanings. To fight the people, and the only way to stop fighting them when they say La ilaha illallah or they become Muslims. Where is the problem in this hadith? The problem in this hadith, we have to look into it in two perspectives. One of them is the historical perspective. When was it told? When did the Prophet Muhammad said it? And what was the occasions? That's number one. The other aspect, actually, we need to look at the language context. Starting with the language. Of course, we said that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the Prophet the commands. There's a difference between fighting and killing. I saw some translations say, I was commanded to kill people. Because in the Arabic language, it's one letter. Uqatila, aqtula. Same letters, one letter that usually is not, you can't even see it. One letter can make a whole big difference. In one translation that I saw, I was looking up yesterday, it said, aqtula an-nas, to kill people. And subhanAllah, it's interesting. Now let's get to the an-nas, or the people mentioned in the hadith. I will tell you some verses of the Quran. First, tell me, when you heard this hadith, what comes to your mind? Imagine you're just non-Muslims. You don't know anything about Islam. You're just a human being hearing somebody saying this. And let's be neutral. If I hear it, I will be disgusted. Myself. If I don't know the meaning, really? That's really violent. That's really violent. That's terrible. I wouldn't want to go there. That's my personal. What do you guys think? What comes to your mind?
Very similar.
Very similar. But when we get to know to see the whole picture, it might be different. So, especially I'm telling you, yes, the Prophet did say this. Number one, an-nas, the people. When you just heard that people or people, the first thing that comes to your mind, like everybody. Every single person. Which means, if we look into the hadith, which means the Prophet ﷺ, according to this, was ordered to kill or to fight everybody. To fight everybody. Muslims, non-Muslims, believers, non-believers, every single one. Because we say people. People means everyone, usually. In the Arabic language, however, there is a concept in Arabic called إطلاق العام على الخاص. Use a general word, but you only mean specific. Specific group of people. I'll give you an example from the Quran. There is a verse in the Quran, it said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إذ قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم. Okay, the meaning of this, when the people told them that the people are prepared for them, so be careful. We see two kinds of people. People who are telling about other people. People who are telling some people about a third category of people. Back to history. When was this ayah revealed? This ayah revealed on the 8th year after Hijrah, during a very famous battle called the Trench, the Battle of the Trench. When the kuffar or the disbeliever, they made a ahzab, they made the groups, and they managed to gather 10,000 people to go and attack Muslims in Medina, and Muslims were 1,200. So this is what happened at that history. A man came to Rasulullah ﷺ and he told him, the people are preparing for you. Which word are we talking about here? Are we talking that specific group of people who came to attack Rasulullah ﷺ according to the ayah? How many people told Rasulullah? One person. So that people in the Arabic language could be told about one person. You can tell one person that people. And that's so tricky about the Arabic language, that if you don't know it, you'll be confused. Now, I was in the one of the workshops. As you know, I'm in the field of education, schools and teaching. Now, because of the concept that's going on, they are trying to find a third person for he or she, where we don't have to say he or she in the schools concept. Like we are, because to accommodate everybody in the community, we have to say they for one single person. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, those sexually oriented.
Right.
So,
how does that fit into the Islamic school situation?
I'll get back. There's especially we're talking about in our education. Now, it's something new that we have to switch the language to fit our needs or the concept that we want to be playing. The Arabic language had this for a long time ago. It's already built in the language. In English, we don't have it. In English, we don't have it. In French, we don't have it. In the Arabic language, it's the nature of the Arabic that you can use one proverb for everybody. You can use that people for one person. You can use one person for the whole people, and so on. Back to the ayah, and I'll get back to your questions once I clarify this language issue. So the people in the hadith is not what people think that means everybody. It means a specific group of people. And that's not the only proof in the Quran. We have another proof in the Quran. Prophet ﷺ, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking to Adam, to Ibrahim alayhi salam, he told him, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ. Of course, now you know the word an-nasi means people. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. Tell people to go for Hajj. In fact, not everybody is allowed to perform Hajj. Which means there is also nasi here means a specific group of people. So the idea that I want to come out with is, out of all this, is that an-nasi, or the word that people, might not mean everybody. It might mean as little as one person and one group of people and then the whole people. Clarifying that concept, go back to the hadith.